We're left in a fog of intense sadness, wondering, perhaps, is there any point in going on alone? And that's the sad part. We get people that even contemplate suicide. They want to run away. People think, why should I go on at all? Depression after a loss is too intense. After a loss is too often seen as unnatural. It's a state to be fixed, something to snap out of. People tell you, don't be depressed, be happy. Let's take you out. Let's go to the bar. Let's have fun, whatever. Okay, but it's natural. The first question you have to ask yourself is whether or not the situation you're in is actually depressing. Heartbreak is a very depressing situation, and depression is a normal and appropriate response, but ask yourself whether or not the situation you are in is actually depressing. When that person leaves you, does that give you an openness to explore other avenues? Or have you done everything and that person has done nothing? Or that person blames you for their problems? To not experience depression after a heartbreak would be unbelievably unusual. I would question people if they weren't depressed after a breakup. I would question myself. When a loss fully settles in your soul and your mind, the realization that your heart has been broken is understandably depressing. If grief is a process of healing, then depression is one of the necessary steps along the way to get to that healing. Okay? Think in terms of, again, depression being a normal, healthy, natural feeling. It's what needs to happen after you lose something. The final stage is acceptance. Now, keep in mind, I will go back, that the first stages, the first 4 stages, are in a constant state of flux, an absolute constant state of flux. Okay, which basically means is that you can get depressed and something's going to get you angry again. You might start denying it. Something could happen. I think one of the things that happen that throw people back into the stages is when the person that broke up with them is with somebody else, and they find out that truly they're with somebody else, or they started dating again. Oh, that depression is painful, and you might get angry at it. But I see most people with that. Anger is very fleeting, but then they go into that depression. So those first 4 stages, constant state of flux. The last stage, acceptance. Okay, it's a little bit different than what you're thinking. Acceptance is often confused with the notion of being all right or okay with what has happened, and that's not the case. Most people don't ever feel okay or all right about a broken heart. This stage is about accepting the reality that the relationship has ended and recognizing that this new reality is the permanent reality. We'll never like this reality or make it okay, but eventually we actually accept it. We accept that this is our new reality. We learn to live with it. It becomes our new norm, and we learn how to live with this new norm. We have to try to live now in a world where a relationship has ended. It's like crossing a bridge. At one point, you're on one side of that bridge, and everything's okay. You think that this relationship's going okay. You think that this love is going to last forever. Then you cross that bridge into a new territory and a new land that you don't know. But acceptance says is that I'm going to accept this new territory, and I know that I'm going to go and do different things to make myself happy, or at least try to make myself healthy again. In resisting the new norm, at first many people want to maintain life as it was before the broken heart. Okay, you want to do the things. You want to go to play. You want to talk to the same people. You want to try to share the same friends. You want to try to maintain it as it was on that other side of the bridge. In time, through bits and pieces of the acceptance, however, we see that we cannot maintain the past intact. We can't. It has been forever changed, and we must readjust. We must learn to recognize roles, reassign them to others, or take them on ourselves. Okay? I had patients that had just recently broken up. They were living together, not married, but living together, and he did all the cleaning and did all the laundry. When he left, she had to learn literally how to do the laundry and how to clean, and that was puzzling to her But she knew that she had to reassign herself, and she knew that to get herself okay and to accept this, she had to step up and do the laundry. Needless to say, the first couple of loads weren't so good, and she's lost a couple of good shirts, but she was able to do it. Finding acceptance may be just having more good days than bad ones. And as we begin to live again and enjoy our life, we often feel that in doing so, we are betraying our lost love. We feel that if we start getting happy again and we start living our life and smiling, we almost feel that we're betraying that person. But we can never replace what's been lost, but we can make those new connections. We could actually find new meaningful love relationships. We could find new interdependencies. We could be free sometimes. Now, that might take a long time, and we might have those betrayal feelings, but it can happen. Instead of denying our feelings, we listen to our needs. We move, we change, we grow, we evolve. We may start to reach out to others and become involved in their lives. We start investing in our friendships and in our relationship with ourselves, and we begin to live again. But we cannot do so until we have given grief its time. We have to allow that process to continue. We have to allow that process to happen. Okay, you get to it. You've accepted the heartbreak, so now what? The practicality of moving on from the ending of a relationship varies from person to person. Friends will tell you to get out there and date somebody. Coworkers may try to fix you up with somebody. You may dive headfirst into work, isolate for a while. You may even start dating right away. I think the always a good one when I've had breakups, my mother would always come out and say, well, you remember this person, or my friend has someone, so on. You know, you've heard it. You've heard it from people. They're trying to help you. And however you get there, however you move on, remember, it's different for everybody. It is absolutely different from everybody. But we need to move on. We need, as my patient said, we need to let it be, and we need to kind of move on from it. There's a few things to help kind of with that reentry into your life again. And remember, this isn't reentry into the dating world again. This is reentry into your life. Okay? That person in your life that you broke up from, or they broke up from you, wasn't your entire life. You were an individual before you got into that relationship, and you're going to be an individual out of the relationship. In fact, I tell all married couples, you have to be individuals in the relationship. The relationship isn't you. It's a part of you. Okay? So trying to get into the reentry phase, you got to do some certain things. You remember, I think it was Susan Powers or whatever it was. She was in the late 80s, early 90s. She was the one that came out with that diet, Stop the Insanity. Well, that's what we need to do. First and foremost, stop the insanity. Put away the pictures. Stop going on the other person's Facebook or Twitter. Stop listening to the songs you listen to together. They're constant reminders. They impede the reentry phase. For those of you out there that are listening right now, how many of you had, Facebook stalked or Twitter stalked your ex or continue to do so? You know, stop it. It's painful. It's very, very painful. I think it's, every now and then to check up on a person. Like I said, with me, anger diminishes fairly quickly. If you check up on a person, that's one thing. See how they're doing, see what life is going on, being happy for them eventually if you can. But I'm talking about going on the Facebook and Twitter every 3 minutes. I've had that high school, college. I've had that my adults that come and see me, friends, where they're just constantly on it. I think, the sweet revenge of moving on to the reentry phase is that you delete their name from your Facebook. It's kind of like the big F you, you're done, I'm done with you. But then they still try to go on the back way, or they go through other friends to see it. Remember, stop the insanity. You have to get back to you for a little bit. Right? One of the things that I said earlier are those songs, that music. Okay? You need to start experiencing something new. If the two of you had a favorite band together, guess what? It's going to hurt every single time that you listen to that band or to those songs. All right? So find a new band, find new music. Well, wait, there's every generation has those songwriters or those singers that just destroy you, that absolutely just destroy you. Those songs that you hear and oh, dear Lord, they're just unbelievably painful. And as I'm saying this, you're probably thinking to yourself several different people that are out there. And there are those bands that, man, they just touch you and it hurts. So get new music. Get into the rhythm, get into something fun, ask friends, get something going. And try to listen to more of the upbeat music. Listen to something that's going to just get you happy. I know it sounds funny, and especially coming from a therapist, my God, but if I'm in those down modes and I'm not feeling it, or I'm sad, or I'm depressed, or just not okay, I listen to some of the most foul metal, heavy metal that you could possibly find, or I listen to some of the aggressive music, and for some reason it just starts pulling me up. Now, the whole Satan worshiping thing, no, but it just for some reason that rhythm can get me feeling in a different direction. I'm not feeling as sad if I'm listening to something that's kind of out there. I will give my favorite band a plug. Listen to the Dropkick Murphys. You can't help but get your heart beating with those guys. Hit the gym. Let's talk about getting your heart rate up. Try some sort of physical activity. Sweat out the problems. Physical exercise may allow some frustration to be released. Get in the gym. Go to kickboxing classes. Go to taekwondo. Do mixed martial arts. Take a jog. Get that heart going. Sweat out the troubles. Okay? People that go through the emotional breakup are going through a physical breakup too. It hurts. It doesn't feel good. Stomach hurts. Your head hurts. Everything hurts. So work it out. Get into that gym. Go a little nuts. Okay? Finally, it sounds funny, but I heard somewhere, and I don't know who said it, but laughter is the best medicine. Watch a funny movie. Go to a comedy show. Laugh with friends. Read a funny novel. Put yourself in a position to laugh. Get people around you that are going to be positive. Get people around you that not only are going to make you laugh, but are going to make you smile. Because smiling, what was it, Buddy the Elf? Buddy the Elf, smiling's my favorite. Smiling is amazing. It just turns things around a little bit. So watch that funny movie. I was just watching, I think it was VH1, and I'm not 100% sure, but it was the top 25 funniest movies. And there were movies in there that I know that anytime I put in, they're just hysterical. The number one movie was Animal House. They had Caddyshack on there, Blazing Saddles. There were movies on there that were, Airplane was one of them, that were just hysterical. One recently, it was last summer, I think it was, but Ted, oh my goodness, you want to just see something exceptionally with blue humor, watch that. Just laugh. Get yourself in that position. Don't just sit there and listen to the sad music or watch the love movies. Get yourself to laugh. Get yourself in that position. You need to surround yourself with positive people. You want to try to reconnect with positive friends and family. Put yourself in a position where the people around you are a positive influence and have your best interests at heart. Remember, a best friend is a little bit different than an acquaintance. I've said this before. An acquaintance is going to be the one that you call to bail you out of jail. A best friend is going to be sitting next to you in that jail cell asking, what did we get ourselves into? You want to get that positive person around you. And it's funny. Friends are going to have problems saying certain things, but good friends, those positive friends, they're not going to be at a loss for words for you. They're going to know what to say, and they may say nothing. They may just talk about the ball game. They may talk about going out and doing something fun, doing a guy's night, doing a girl's night. They may not even discuss what you're going through right now. They just want to make sure that you're having a great time. And then try something new or try something different. Involve yourself in new activities or experiences. Remember, now's the time to reinvent yourself. You were in this relationship for however long.